Oh, they go Beastmaster. All right, so some vision game instead.
All right, so this is just puck mid and TA carry then, most likely.
I think
you know,
so.
I was theory crafting TA5 against Centaur. I tried it for one game. It felt pretty good on lane, but it was straight up terrible after laning stage. So you never know.
I think I remember someone mentioning Fata tried it as well. Fata tried one game of POS 5 TA.
It was me and Fata. We're being idiots on Discord together. We're both theory crafting it. I'm sort of confused why you would want to not match up TA versus Tiny mid. I feel like that's a free lane for TA, and she has 4 good matchups this game. She's good versus all the heroes. If you just enable this hero from mid, she will carry this game.
So where are they putting the puck?
It's either mid or 5, right? So their combination is either gyro carry, puck 5, TA mid, beast off, or it's TA carry, gyro 5, puck mid. I think maybe this puck's just a 5. I'd be okay with that too.
Well, here it is. It's the Wraith King. So they do still go with one of the stunners in the position 1. Great combo with the Ancient Apparition.
So it's puck mid, hero. TA carry.
Offlane Beastmaster and then support gyro. Yeah. Interesting.
They can just go aggro on Omega. Like, they would win the lanes really hard.
A Parker TA. This is really interesting. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gary.
Like AUI was saying, right? The Gyrocopter, if he faces off against the Snap in lane, he's kind of just useless. Like, little Shredder plus Centaur's body. You just bully the Gyro away. No missiles, no anything.
I'm torn because I think Infamous on paper, even with Parker, they should be the better team. However, I like Omega's lineup much better in a vacuum. I feel like if Infamous had Omega's lineup, I would just be, all right, Infamous have game 1, no problem. But as it stands, I'm a little bit torn. I think Infamous can out-execute, but I'm nervous for Parker. He needs to... This is going to be a defining game. If this TA has a flawless game, I'm ready to start giving Parker the benefit of the doubt. All right? That's going to be my wager to you, Gary.
Well, like, I'm looking at this, and I know I've been super wrong in the past, but I just look at Omega's lanes, and it feels like every single lane is a duo of lane-winning heroes. They've got stuns, they've got the ability to TP rotate any hero, any combination, to find kills at any point in the game. It's not just laning stage, but like 15 minutes in, Tiny has Blink, Ice Blast, someone dies. So I think
we got to
pause.
So, no rush to jump into this one. So how are you thinking, Curtis? Who are you favoriting here prediction-wise?
I think Infamous will win because I think TA can 1v5 this game. I'm not too sure about why they set up their lanes this way, but I'm sure they have some reason. Like, maybe in some scrims, like, they found that TA carries a really good AA counter because if you get Ice Blasted, like, you can blink away or you can just kill him first. I'm not sure, but I think they're a good enough team that when they do something weird, you should give them, like, the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that's fair. TA Beastmaster, I mean, you got great Roche options. You've got really good early 5-man options. They could kind of run this game down if they survive the lanes. I think Gary does make some good points, though. Are you concerned about Omega's ability to maybe just win 2.5 lanes here and make it hard for Infamous to get off the ground?
I think if Omega goes aggro, the game's hard for Infamous. But I think if they go 2-2, I remember that I saw like these pubs where Arteezy was spamming safe lane TA, specifically against Centaur, and Centaur would just get instantly dumpstered. Like, it would be like Lelis playing Centaur and stuff, right? It's like some high skill player, and they still get dumpstered just because he removes so much armor. So if that's the case, and Infamous win safe lane and can play through that lane, I think they're good in this game.
Okay. All right.
It also kind of feels like Infamous, even if they go behind in lanes, have great ways of catching up. Like TA farming Ancients to catch up. There's Beastmaster, who's so good at just sitting in a lane and pushing, getting himself up in the enemy's faces. And the puck's able to rotate onto some of these squishy supports, like the A and Snap don't like being run at all. They are supports who like playing aggressively and being front foot.
That's definitely true.
If you know, my thought process, maybe it's the fact that I feel like Omega need to win their lanes to actually get off the ground, rather than me thinking that they should win their lanes looking at these heroes.
I like that. You're applying your wishful thinking. Like, I They need to, actually. This has gone from want to need. Yeah, no, that's definitely
It's
fair.
more like a component of their draft where the style they need to play at needs to win the lanes. Because you need that radiance timing on the Wraith King. You need these blinks coming up from Tiny Centaur. So you need those timings reasonably earlier just to play your draft.
Yeah, I agree. If Omega lose their lanes, these supports are just going to be food. They're not even going to be able to push across the map. Like some Wraith King's going to be farming the entire game, and his entire team will just suffer. These drafts are weird because if something happens to make one hero on one team snowball, I think the draft can just like completely fall apart on both times. They're not like that robust drafts, you know? Like the Chinese teams are very robust drafts. Even if something goes wrong, you still feel like they can win.
It's like both sides are a little delicate here. So, go throw two cups at each other and see whose breaks first. I like it. And it looks like we're close to a resume. I don't know how to rate Wraith King right now. I know it pairs very well with the AA. He was probably a runner-up choice because the CK and a couple others got banned. But excited to see if Mingate can give us a good game here on the Wraith King. We do have the resume, so there you go. Game number 1, Infamous versus Omega. It starts now. I'll hand it over to you two to take it away.
I mean, I think it's a good point that he brings up there. I don't know how you feel about this, but the Wraith King item build, I've been wondering the past couple of months, do we see the armlet into Radiance? Do we see just phase Radiance? Because we've seen the Luna, the Medusa, all these other heroes kind of lose their lane, go jungle, farm very quickly, flashing through Ancients. Wraith King can't do that. Do you want him to play fast, or do you want him just to go for those normal timings of the 14-minute Raddy?
Personally, I pretty much always like Armlet into Radiance or Wraith King. I think it makes the most sense because Armlet has good synergy with Mortal Strike. But I'm not too sure. You're right in that, like, Wraith King, he doesn't farm as fast as a Luna or Dusa, but he does farm really fast still. Like, the skeletons are really good. You can think back to the TI10 Hector Wraith King days. It's not that changed from then, so...
And it gives you that push as well. I've been stealing your phrase, the ghost push, by the way.
Oh, that's
I've been enjoying that one.
I think that's actually from Theban, so you're stealing his
really?
phrase. Yeah.
He didn't realize. I brought it up to him and I said, I heard AUI saying this, and he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he was probably like, yeah, I told him that 5 years ago. Dota's a weird game where like knowledge is really... Like, it's really hard to come up with new things in Dota, but once something's discovered, everyone sort of picks up on it really fast.
Yeah.
Like, you can think of like the pulling 3 melee creeps onto your range creep. Like, that only started in like 2017. Maybe late 2016, and then all of a sudden within the year everyone's doing it every game, even in pubs.
And then like doing half pulls, right? Like someone noticed it maybe like a year ago, Puppy was doing it, everyone starts copying.
That one took longer. I think that one had been happening since like 2016, 2017, but people weren't like realizing.
That's like that dissemination of information can be a bit slow sometimes. That's why it's always nice having these international lands, you know, it's such a feeding point for teams to scrim against others, learn new information.
Parker actually hasn't taken a skill point yet. I'm sort of surprised by that.
So do you think he's still holding meld like you were saying?
Yeah. Oh,
there it is.
sad.
Good stomp. Yeah, doesn't get it off. He's just gonna wait. Axel's done a great job already though. This Gyrocopter just you know, 6 armor support hero running at a centaur and a Snapfire.
I think how Axel's been playing this lane has just been perfect. Like, if he went for Missile, I think this lane would be really hard. Instead, he just takes his first well. They double waved him, so this TA and Jao get level 2 first, and now he can start playing for pose.
Yeah, start dragging that wave back. And I guess TA's not going to really be under too much threat, especially when she hits level 3. Demon and Lissex. Usually a kill lane, Centaur and Snapfire, but against these 2 heroes in particular, probably not going to be able to get too much done.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Puck against Tiny. Farm trade until like 7 minutes, then we start seeing the actual moves.
Yeah, I think Puck has a little bit of edge in this lane. He can outfarm Tiny a bit, just because you can orb creeps and the neutrals at the same time, and you can sort of hit him more. But I think you're right, it should end up being really farm heavy, unless someone can check the water runes for them.
I guess if we have like a snap rotation, Cookie with the avalanche toss, maybe Puck aggressively orbs, gets caught out.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard lane to gank though. I think the lane to look out for is actually top lane. I think
Yeah.
Beastmaster is a cool pick in that it destroys AA. It used to be like the classic AA counter, and then it will kick out Wraith King pretty early and take over that tower. I think if you look at
Cold Feet and
Sorry, go ahead.
Blast to kill off one boar, they're putting a lot of emphasis on killing just the one boar.
No, it's worth it. Those things give a lot of EXP and they're really annoying. I think if you look at Infamous's lineup, it initially looks sort of weird, but the more I'm watching, I feel like the real carry in this game is actually Beastmaster. If Beastmaster has a really good game, he can like take over the map, and then it doesn't matter like how much better your scale is, they're just getting more than you.
What's the reason for that? Is that just like this helmet-dominated boar pushing lanes? Or is
He's
it the
just,
vision you get from Hawk?
Yeah, if you take towers with him, his items just take... I mean, it's not Necro 3 anymore, so maybe it's a bit different. I haven't seen this here that much. But if you go Helm and you're playing off Roar, it's very hard for the enemy team to push out lanes, which ends up with like your map being very constricted, which means that you get less farm bot lane though. They're going on to Strao.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Fairy Fire. He's not going to survive though, is he? Yeah, final touch from Demon. TA comes back in with a Meld Strike, but no real opportunity to kill off the Snapfire there. Finally, this Snapfire Centaur get off the ground.
Yeah, and as you mentioned... Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, it's weird casting online with delay, huh?
Yeah. I was going to say, we also got Michael as like battling 1v2 top lane, but it looks like he will just run away from Skellies.
Oh, he didn't block the camp though. I think he went over there to block the small camp and the skeletons hit him and made him afraid. He thought the skeletons would block the camp, but they actually don't have hitboxes in the camps.
A phase shift dodge and the waning rift to high ground. KXY gets away. Like you said, a very difficult lane to gank into, even for a snap and a tiny.
That was really close though. I was surprised. Dota's sort of weird. Like the fact that Wraith King skeletons don't block camps isn't something you'd really think about unless you've seen it, right?
Yeah, it doesn't scan logically really.
It doesn't make any sense. It's just very Dota 2.
It is because it is. That's a good little Acorn shot there, but the boar a little bit slow, catching up to AA, gets the slow. Shakalord, yeah, he's going to Fairy Fire but die. And I mean, Migate here, he might be in a bit of trouble. Gets his Skellies out, pops the wand, looking to stun up Michael, but they just turn back on him. Keep the right clicks going. I mean, Mariana, you said it, he's the real carry. He's pummeling them, gets a double kill from the offlane.
Oh man, in the old Necrobook patch, I would actually think this game was over, but I'm very interested to see what Beastmaster will do this game. I feel like if Puck controls Tiny's lane, like Tiny's not snowballing and constantly ganking the speeds, I don't feel like they have good kill threat on him. He's just gonna constantly pressure in lanes and take over your map.
Yeah, so you were talking about him taking towers and that natural flow of items and gold coming to him, soaking up some of that more dangerous farm on the map. Is it always also like an... Oh god, they're just spamming spells on the boar. Sorry, I just see spells being thrown towards poor little boar to kill it off. But is it also like a Radiant side factor as well? Like Beastmaster being offlane Radiant, controlling Roche area, top lane seems very important for them.
Yeah, that might have a big factor. I'm not too sure.
I'm just wondering if they would have picked it Dire side as well, or if it is an indication that they want to be playing that top part of the map, as it looks like KXY is moving up to top, aiming for a go onto the AA. Should be a reasonably simple one. They don't want to spend the coil on AA, so they go Wraith King instead. Throws the blast onto Mariano, and rotations are coming. Tiny's TP, Jimari is invis. Not too much mana to play with, though. Tried to toss back the Beastmaster, get him towards the Ancient Apparition. They're body blocking him, and Mariano's stuck under the cold feet. Now the avalanche comes. Mariano very nearly dead, while it looks like KXY escaping out from Demon's grasp. They don't land the cookie onto Michael, scurrying into the tree lines, but that's a lot of rotations and expenditure from Omega just to try and defend that top lane.
Yeah, it felt a little bit rushed from Infamous. There were like 50 EXP off this Beastmaster Roar. Oh, really nice. Cutting the tree. How did he even do that?
Yeah,
He just ate it with his third spell, I guess.
He just grabs the tree out of the ground.
If they had Roar there... Sorry. If they had Roar there, that would be like 2 kills and they could pressure that tower. But because they're sort of impatient to wait for killing the creeps, this Beastmaster doesn't get a 6 and like the play gets awkward. Now Wraith King actually has a game to play.
Does he want to stay in that top lane though, or does he just go jungle now? That's always like the question I'm asking about these carry heroes.
I think the wagon got defended, and he should do whatever's just best for his game. As long as you kill the enemy catapult, it's not too bad to jungle.
Okay. Make sure that pressure isn't coming. He is under Radiant Vision right now, so Infamous know exactly what's up. Wraith King's ditched. AA is also gone all the way back to Fountain. So a bit of room here to push towards the tier 1 top. I guess Parker's also doing a similar thing. TA has left the bottom lane. Go get some neutral items in jungle.
Oh, I like this.
Really to lane up against him.
So Center just comes up top because he has his Vanguard finished. He realized that he can't pressure the bot tower the same way that Beastmaster can pressure his top tower. So instead of getting like sort of a bad trade, he just decides to like neutralize it. This used to be a classic where you would put your Tidehunter versus a Beastmaster, but if you buy a Vanguard, you're basically Tidehunter, and you could do the same thing.
Just stand there and soak. So it does leave TA completely free farming bottom lane. Is Wraith King going to be okay down there alone in a 1v1? Feels like TA is just going to shove wave and farm, like free farm plus, right? It's the neutral camps plus the lane creeps as Stampede top from this X. Disengaging out from that Beastmaster who spent the raw, but Mingata just dies bottom lane to the puck and the TA. Definitely not safe down there. Not a single point in his ultimate. 1-3-2 build and sad times for Mingata.
Yeah, that was a really good read from Infamous. They saw that he TP'd, so they decided to punish him at bottom. Centaur has no TP, so they know they can't react to it. Really good play from Faker.
Super good. I mean, KXY with his Arcane Rune's going to be able to escape from Tiny at the same time. Spotted out some real big stacks. They're pinging it. I think, yeah, Jamari's going to have enough time to clear it, though. That pushes in very close to Blink Dagger. While they coil up mid, Shackle Lord surviving away from Michael and KXY. Axel with an interesting move as well, gets a good deep ward there, spotting the Wraith King, and it feels like they're putting a lot of emphasis on chasing Mingate around the map. Keep their TA going while Wraith King is under pressure. Shackle Lord, the bodyguard of Wraith King, front lining up against Michael, and Axel does drop.
Right now, Omega, they put sort of their wall at top lane, but Infamous have made a cool move where they just sort of ignore the fact that there's a wall top and go play on the other side.
Oh, that's a good bushwhack. Wraith Fire Blast dodged. KXY feeling no pain. Does it allow Centaur to get this top tower though? Because he's done a great amount of damage with this maxed out Retaliate.
Yeah, they've probably over-indexed on it a bit. Like, they should defend this tower. Possibly when Centaur's up there, they should have killed him. They're TPing up here now though.
Alright, they're bringing numbers. Homing missiles there. Raw follow-up. Tons of stuns to deal with Lisek Centaur. And TA, the one hero that Infamous would love to get that kill on, does grab it. That's going to transition into a tier 1 push of their own.
And they're very farmed. They're smoking up to try to defend this, but I don't think they can take this fight. I think these Beastmaster boars are just too strong. They have to get some sneaky pick off with the tiny combo. He does have Blink Dagger.
Yeah, he's got Blink. Demon's got Kisses. They don't... Oh, they don't have Ice Blast yet, do they? That's a difficult one to get into. Tier 1's down, and the Radiant Scan even connects on them as they fall back. I guess the bright side is that Omega was able to spread map quite nicely. Centaur, you know, he respawns, pushes out mid. Wraith King finally gets some face time with the creeps. It looks like Michael and Axel, this support duo, going straight in onto Demon. And a sharpshooter and a rocket barrage. The amount of damage that these two supports offer is insane. Jimari wants a bit of retribution though, gets in with a tiny combo, but now he's going to face off against Mariano's Beastmaster. The Stampede cancelled out a bit by the bushwhack. Oh, they don't have quite enough follow through, and now the Rainbow TP is arriving, but KXY, he's here with a Waning Rift and an Orb. They can finish off Jimari easily, and maybe even jaunt towards Shackle Lord. Not opting to go diving too deep, but they've still got the wraparound from Michael. They know exactly where the AA is. It's easy pickings. Infamous just come in and clear through, what, 3 heroes in a row?
This really well played from Infamous. They're rotating their heroes to their strong hero in the Beastmaster, and you can't fight this hero with Omega's lineup. They got this blink on Tiny, but they never really connected their smoke to get pickoffs with it. As a result of missing your timing, you're just on the back foot, and you can't deal with this Beastmaster pressure at all.
And pretty soon, Tiny's not even going to be able to kill off some of these supports. Oh, Lissex found out again. Sharpshooter. Max duration, max damage. And Infamous just grouping up around everybody, roaring in onto Snapfire. That's the Beastmaster solo killing the Snap off with a Centaur creep. Clearing through these tier 1s, objectives being grabbed up. And we're still in that waiting period. Like, Migate is probably screaming to his team, please, just give me another 3-4 minutes. I'll have Radiant soon.
Yeah, to be honest, he does want to wait for it, but I don't think Infamous are going to give him the option. They're just playing the map so cleanly. They're taking over enemy farm, they're taking down these objectives. And look, the Michael, he even drew to some circle for Pepita to just control. Like, they're never going to be able to come in this area, and all of a sudden Roshan's free. I think the only way Omega can come back in this game is to use their timing. You need the Splink Dagger, they have the AALT, they have to go get kills. It's a good smoke.
Happen right now. TA has Refraction ready, but the Ice Blast combo in with Tiny. Blowing through the A. Oh my god! Damage from the Meld Strike destroys the AA, but they do get the big kill that they were looking for.
The only thing is they've shown heroes in the enemy triangle. They need to be really careful on this Wraith King bottom.
Yeah. And they've got the ability to TP down and save him. Level 1 reincarnation too. Oh my god, Axel and Michael. They're going to bring him down the first time. Oh, not quite. Jimari's there with a combo. XY's Puck thinking about that coil onto Tiny, but the kisses going to be enough artillery to force them to disengage from any further aggression.
Little bit greedy from Axel there. I think he wanted to kill him twice, so he's saving his ultimate. But honestly, it's not that realistic to kill the enemy carry that close to his tier 1 with just 2 supports. I think it's not too bad in the end. Like, you're some 5-position gyrocopter forcing a lot of enemy TPs.
Yeah. It's that game of tennis, right? Beastmaster was pushing top, basically to tier 2. Well, you're playing down bottom, but a great stomping. Lissex sets up for that Ice Blast. They roar Jimari. TA still trying to Meld Strike and clear through the Tiny, successfully so, and takes down Lissex as well. The Ice Blast doing very little as Parker just clears them up. KXY in that back line also found Shackle Lord's AA, and 4 kills off the back of that could lead straight into Roshan.
There's such good connections from Infamous. Even though they're ahead, they're sort of controlling the middle of the map. So anything that happens, they can get all their heroes there. You can sort of compare that from Omega. Like, they have some nice spellcasting. They get a 2-man stomp, you know, they get the ALT, but they're not as coordinated as Infamous. Infamous is already there at the start.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's like you said, right? The Gyro, even though he's POS 5, even though he dies bottom, he is POS 5, respawns, TP's mid tier 1. Beastmaster was pushing out that top lane all the way to tier 2, so he just has a smooth journey through that jungle into the mid lane. And this ward coverage coming out from the Gyro now as well. One of them expires near that large camp, near the Dire tier 2, but still double wards ready, watching for any smokes, anyone to try and defend these towers, even look for courier snipes if he wants to. It's like the forward planning for next Roshan. You've got all the perfect vision for it.
Yeah, I think Infamous just has really good Dota fundamentals. Like, they know they're ahead, they know that Omega have to run away from them. So what they do in reaction is they pre-plant these lane wards. As soon as Infamous's heroes as soon as Omega's heroes try to push out side lanes or get a little bit greedy, these wards will allow them to punish very easily.
It's so helpful having all your tier 1 standing as well, because you can punish that just by TPing
for sure.
side lanes.
And it's tier 1 standing against like this Vanguard Centaur. I think normally this hero always takes the early tower at Vanguard, but because the Beastmaster just put so much pressure on top, he couldn't do what he wanted.
And now being forced to play in that bottom third of the map, not really ideal. Puck invading Dire Triangle, so not even space here for Jimari or Migate to farm freely. But we have the item. Omega's Radiance is coming out on the courier. Something they've been desperately waiting for, but the quick dispatch there of the Shackle Lord AA. TA just takes a couple of hits in there, and a call down coming in towards Demon. Good cookie to allow Migate to escape. But look at Mariano. His positioning. He comes in around the back. He should have a roar here with a Hawk Vision. They'll spot out the Wraith King. He's got 2 lives, but it's level 1 Reincarn, and he just got his Radiance. This is when Omega are meant to be feeling strong and fighting, but they've just not got a chance. The coil there catches him out. Finally finish off the Wraith King, and Jimari's Tiny no opportunity to jump. Can't blink in. Can't fight this 1v5.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower.
Really smooth gameplay from Infamous coming out here. They're sort of showing a difference in class, I feel, this game. It's not like Omega didn't have opportunities to sort of make moves in this game, but Infamous have always been really good about pushing side lanes and sort of restricting their opponents. They follow like some good fundamentals where, you know, you get this Aegis, you use it to take a tier 2, and then you take over the enemy triangle. It's just very nice, smooth gameplay. Very impressed to see this.
It's like the algorithmic movement out from Infamous, right?
Yeah, it's like you have a base, right? Like you don't have to follow some sort of strict structure, but it helps to sort of have a baseline, like a default for all your players to get on, and then you can adjust it based off information you get in game. I think Infamous, they have that structure, and I mean honestly, they haven't had to adjust it. They just get to do whatever they want.
Yeah, it's like if we have these traps are just set up for the jump. Stomps there onto Axel's gyro, but TA going wild on towards the Wraith King and the Tiny. They've been forced back, and Mingarte dead without ulti. They will take the Aegis out of the hands of the Templar Assassin, but they're going to lose everybody for it. Jimari's on the run, the traps will slow him down, and the jump back from Parker with a blink dagger, allowing him to gap close onto the snap, and the Tiny's now isolated. Burnt and removed of all his mana with a 5-man wipe arriving. Infamous, yeah, they've got this one.
It's looking very good for them. What do you think cats are supposed to talk about when the game is this much of a shellacking? Because honestly, like, I don't think there's potential to come back in this game. I think it's that far gone.
Usually, that's my job, right? Usually I'm the silver lining kind of guy thinking, you know, the high ground defense here from Omega, the execution of the team fight, if it's perfect, maybe they could do this or that. But I'm honestly just looking at this Wraith King and I'm wishing it was a Medusa, wishing it was a Luna, something else other than a Wraith King. Because he dies in 2 shots to a TA.
Like, honestly, like, you can win these games in pubs, and you can win in competitive. But how Infamous have been playing just makes me feel like there's no potential to come back. They've just been playing so cleanly. I don't feel like they're gonna die tier 4s and throw. Like that's Omega's comeback, right? Like you need to take a fight into tier 4s. Instead, Infamous, they're just picking them off when they exit their base.
I mean, yeah, I'm watching KXY jump an AA in the middle of 4 heroes, not a care in the world. TA snipes out the Tiny. Tier 2s are gonna fall down bottom lane as well. And Mariano Michael, they're playing forward, just looking for any bonus kills. And I don't know, it's so easy to play like this when you're ahead and when you've got vision advantage, right? With boars, hawks, traps, the deep wards from the gyro, you see everything.
You can see they're even setting up on this Wraith King. They had that nice lane ward. They glyph just to add insult to injury.
Oh,
yeah,
gets the coil! Very, very sad indeed. I wonder there if they'd waited 10 seconds. They call GG. It's fully over. I'm just wondering there if they waited for Reincarnation to come off cooldown and kill him twice just to rub salt in the wound.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just 2065. That's a. Do you have a tier list on like shellackings? Because Sunsman says that a lot, and it's sort of permeated into my brain. But
that's an S tier shellacking right there.
Shellacking, okay.
Yeah, honestly, I think we've talked this one to death. We can probably just go to a break and come back and break down the game a little bit more after this.